Chris.
Heath.
Welcome back.
Good to be here. Happy April Fool's Day.
That is true. That's not a prank.
That's not a prank. And I've long considered uploading. If we got all of our ducks in a row one episode, we could upload a Mobius Tubes episode on April Fool's Day that's like all about board games or something as a prank.
Oh, and you know our audience, a decent chunk would be like, make this every episode.
Yeah, it would just be a one-off goof, but that's long been an aspiration of mine. Not happening this year, though. We missed the cutoff.
Maybe we'll talk about board games this episode as well, right after we talk about how protected your pocket protector is.
Oh, yeah?
Is that a zipper?
Oh, yeah, it actually is.
Okay.
It's just that secure.
Dude, I would put so many flash drives in there.
Some pocket cashews, maybe.
Yeah.
If I need to,
No, you would never, ever do that.
No, I would not. Only during a podcast recording would I consider it if I needed a quick pick-me-up.
But it would sully the pocket.
Yeah, I'd have to wash the shirt.
Okay.
Burn the shirt, even.
Yeah.
Guess what, Heath?
What?
How serendipitous that we've just introduced this new era of this visual format to Mobius Tubes, because I have a visual aid this episode.
I saw, yeah.
I've brought some show and tell. So this is a sequel to last episode's opening banter, where we were talking about the spectrum of apartment decoration.
Uh-huh.
And we were saying how barren my apartment is. So maybe because of
like
that,
a wasteland.
Yeah. Probably because of that conversation, between episode 84 and 85, that's this episode,
right.
85 of Mobius Tubes, I became inspired to decorate my apartment. I've started phase 1 of decorations, which is...
Have you now?
Adding wall art. And I brought some wall art with me here today because, of course, being the capital G gamer that I am, I wanted to rep some of my favorite video games with my apartment decorations. So I hopped onto this website called Displate. They ship you metal posters.
We are not sponsored,
Not
despite
sponsored.
they sponsoring every other podcast, it feels like.
Yeah, they get around.
They sponsored George.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and his socks.
Man, we should get them in our pocket protector.
Yeah.
And then they'll hook us up. Now, of course, in the main room, I wanted artwork that was, of course, a video game reference, but I didn't want it to be overt. I wanted only the people who were in the know would pick up on it.
Bailey's the same way about the Disney
Yeah.
industrial complex.
That's how I feel about referential tattoos as well.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be too explicit. So,
I got a good one after we unveil.
So yeah, I'll unveil, I'll show it off. I've picked artwork from 2 of my favorite games.
Ooh.
I wonder if you, right off the bat, can you maybe name one of them?
Oh, it's gonna be Anton Corvo scaling your apartment complex, and you can see Chris in the window, dressed as a masquerade guy.
All right, shrink wrap is still on.
Oh yeah. Oh, make sure you get that close to the microphone. Well, you have to take off the shrink wrap, right?
For later. Okay. This is one of the more subtle ones.
This is Grease.
So yeah, you're right on the money, Heath. This is a Dishonored reference.
Oh, this is the guy.
This is so some of the ones I went with are
The Outsider.
related. In Dishonored 2, you'll often encounter paintings in the elaborate environments Arcane has crafted. And this is a painting you find in the game.
Oh, Clockwork Mansion?
Probably. There's a whole limited series called the Legends of Sir Conan Legends. And this is one of the legends about butterflies or something.
Is that a Sherlock Holmes reference?
No, the
Sir Arthur Conan
takes
Doyle?
place on Sir Konos, an island.
Oh.
And these are like urban legends that are on the island. World building stuff.
Very cool. I hope we're able to see the artwork through the reflections off of the shrink wrap.
Oh, our lighting is perfect.
We'll see. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, and then this is
just another Sir Conan legend about a haunted cliffside.
I was gonna say Red Dead.
No, more Dishonored. I heavily spec'd into Dishonored stuff. But like, you wouldn't know that was a video game
No,
reference.
a girl would get tricked into thinking you're not a nerd.
That's my goal. Not so with this next one. This would
Okay.
be in The Office, because this is just straight up
Right.
Corvo's mask.
That might as well just be like the Peggy 18 in the corner.
This is man cave material right here.
Uh-huh.
So cool illustration of Corvo Atano's mask. And lastly,
There's more?
one more. Different game this time. You'll recognize it right off the bat. I was thinking this would be for my bedroom.
Uh-huh. It's just a big Katamari ball. Oh! It's a wonderful abstract scene based on Disco Elysium.
Yeah, it's our man Harry Dubois. Towards
I was
the
trying
end of
not
the
to
game.
spoil. I
right.
didn't want to just say like it's the fast mid you meet.
Yeah, but here's some Disco Elysium artwork. And that's what I got for my show and tell portion of this podcast.
Well, I'm not set up for unveiling, but that's bright.
It is bright.
That one's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it popped out to me.
Here's one that's less bright. This is the one that I would get in my home gym
Get Big Town.
based on Papers, Please.
Oh.
You know the guy who you ask them for their documents, and he's like, "You look scrawny. You should come to Get Big Town. Here's a discount." Right?
I like it.
Or it's not even a discount. It's just like,
It's just join best gym. Underweight, weak, tired, join best gym.
and I want it. I want it either as is or like an artist's rendition of like a big sinewy muscle teal guy, but with the same expression.
I'd be into that one as well.
Yeah. While Chris is putting away his treasures, I'll just say that this episode of Mobius Tubes is being recorded. Oh, wait, we already gave the date. Heck. Well, we didn't give the year. Okay, it's April 1st, 2023. And boy, do we have at least two things to talk about. Starting with the most exciting thing.
Lay it on me, Heath.
My Marvel Snap progress.
Are you still snapping over there?
Well, I'm rank. I'm like not rank. My rank. I've never gotten back to platinum. I always get bodied by the people that are playing more regularly than me.
You cross the threshold into the big boys league, and then they slap you down.
That's quite literally with their Hulk smashes. Yeah. No, I'm collector rank 800, so I've unlocked a sizable chunk. And wait, yeah. Since then, when you get to like 350, I want to say, you unlock the token shop, which allows you to actually prioritize which card you get next. Otherwise, it was just like totally random. So that's exciting. What was I going to say? Oh, actually, let's talk about Mass Effect 3.
Okay, Marvel Snap, push it to the side. Onto
Right,
the
because
main
it's
course.
just, yeah.
Yeah, I've been loving these comprehensive recaps of your Mass Effect playthroughs. Keep them coming.
Yes. So, when we left off, Heath was supposed to go visit the Turian moon to rescue the Turian's president.
Or general or president.
Well, Primarch.
Primarch,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. I'll use as much lingo as I can remember. So Shepard just smashes down, and immediately Garrus is like, welcome back, Commander. It's been so long, which is maybe true, but it's been like 6 months since they've met.
That sounds right to me.
Sure. So it's like, hey, Garrus, where the Primarch at? And Garrus points in that direction, and the Primarch is just like dead, just bleeding his whatever color Turian's blood is. And it's like, well, heck, now we got to go find the Vice Primarch. And you do, and he's another Turian that goes, I don't want to be Primarch. I'm just a soldier. And it's like, that you're perfect if that's the case.
Right.
I would never be a good president because I want to be president. The only good presidents are the ones that don't want to be.
Right, the best leaders don't want the position.
I drag and drop the Primarch from the battlefield onto my ship and he's just gonna be there. And he tells me that I gotta send a covert group I gotta meet his SEAL Team 6 over on Tachanka because they were trying to work something out. I haven't been to Tachanka since my time in Mass Effect 2.
And the Varen fighting pits.
And that's the reason I haven't returned is because I don't want to lose any more money in gambling.
Any more space
ring.
credits.
That's right. So speaking of Tachanka, hey, Rex is back. What does Rex want? He wants the genophage cured.
Yeah, and he's in a position of leverage to ask for that.
Because Krogans are really good at killing.
They're great.
And Reapers need killing. Also, the Reapers are everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was just blasting through. I wasn't eating anything, but I wasn't paying perfect attention. There was a prompt that said, if I scan a planet, it'll attract some Reapers.
Okay. I think if you get too trigger happy on the scan button, it'll attract Reapers and you've got to run away.
Right. I haven't scanned anything for that reason. I was like, I'm not going to bother reading it.
You should scan. You can definitely, there's enough wiggle room to escape.
Okay.
Even if you summon Reapers.
Okay. I will start scanning.
It is not as punishing a mechanic as it may have seemed.
Okay. As soon as because you could scan the planet and find out there's a big old space cannon.
There could be some war assets.
Right.
You want as many of those as possible.
My current war asset total is like maybe like 100, and you need like 100,000. It feels like. So Primarch, he was worth maybe like 50 war points. Rex is worth like 500 war points.
Right.
But you got to get that genophage cured, and I thought that. Okay, Morden in my playthrough, the guy that invented the genophage, he's dead.
6 feet underground, yeah.
So as soon as we land on the Solarians' homeworld, Solarian Town, who comes to greet us? It's Morden's replacement.
Who I've never met.
Schmorden.
That's not his name.
I'm just going to go with it. So Schmorden is actually gung-ho about curing the genophage.
Interesting.
Which is weird, right? I mean, Shepard did mention how during Morden's loyalty mission that we didn't just hit delete on all the data that one rogue Solarian dug up some research.
Right.
Remember how that one rogue guy on Tachanka, he got all the females there and did some experiments to try to cure the genophage. One of those ladies is fertile.
Yeah.
And so Rex is like, give me some of that. And they joke about it, right? The female Krogan herself is like, if there's a viable Krogan woman on a planet, Rex or not will find it.
Wow. Okay.
So, which is just, that's funny. Hey, during that mission, I dropped the difficulty level to casual.
Okay.
I'm going to say that again. During that mission, I dropped the difficulty level to casual. I was getting owned by the Cerberus goons. There is so much smoke in this game.
Oh, yeah. I think there is.
And they gave me a weapon that can see through smoke, but then I run out of ammo on that weapon.
And then
So I'm just spraying through the smoke. I'm hoping once I get a better build or I actually care to look at my level up screen, I'll put the difficulty back to normal. But don't see me earning all of the Iron Man achievements or whatever the Steam accolades are going to be.
Well, no worries. We're here for the story. I won't judge you for dropping the difficulty.
I am going super fast. Did you have any questions about like my little Primarch Rex Solarian thing?
No.
Schmorden?
Really.
Okay.
Schmorden, does he have much of a distinct personality? I've never met the guy.
He does. He's super easygoing. And I thought that if Morden were here, Morden would be representing the Solarians' cause and say, we got to keep this Krogan woman here. It's like safest, and we're not done testing her stuff. And maybe like if we bump her with an elbow, she'll become infertile again. Anyway.
Yeah, that does sound like a pretty big departure because Morden himself isn't known for being the most agreeable guy. He's very set in his ways, where this guy, he sounds much more relaxed.
Right. Schmorden is more relaxed. So we get the Krogan woman on the Normandy.
Is her name Eve?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, that's what Edie calls her. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, Edie is in the sexy suit.
Yeah. How did you feel about that development?
I mean, it goes hand in hand with the Hollywoodification of this game.
Yeah.
And I think I might have got spoiled by it initially.
You knew that was going to happen.
I sort of got spoiled by. I think I saw a character select screen for Mass Effect 3, and so anyway, Krogan woman, she's on the ship. Rex is pleased, and we're not done with the genophage yet.
No,
but that's as far as I got. I get back to like the Citadel, and the Citadel says. Remember the blue Asari that was on Omega?
On Omega.
Like the first one you meet, Arya.
Arya Talok.
Yeah. So she puts all of her belongings in like a banker's box and just puts it on the Citadel in like an identical nightclub.
Okay.
And she goes, "Hey, Shepard, I'm over here now. You need to unite all the 3 flavors of terrorist
or gangs
at the Citadel or in
Omega
in freaking outpost space. What's it called? Terminus space.
Terminus space. Yeah, non-alliance space.
You need to get those blue suns, those blood packs, and those eclipses back on track. So I forget what I did with the blue suns. The blood pack. You do a classic, like United States Cold War false flag operation where you meet with like the blood pack's second in command. No, somebody's brokering the deal, and it's like, quick, Shepard, put your hands behind your back as if you're handcuffed, and before the blood pack guy comes in, we're gonna trick him. And the blood pack guy comes in, and it's like, and he's a total freakazoid Vorcha.
Right.
He goes, Shepard, you will fetch a fine prize, I think. And then Shepard's like, are we done here? And the broker's like, yes, shoot him now. And you kill the first in command, and then the second in command is like, took you long enough. Okay, I'm on board with this,
right?
With this Reaper thing. I don't want to mess with you. Just leave me in first in command, and we're good. So that's blood pack done. I go over to the Eclipse leader is not freely walking around. She's in jail, and Arya says, "You pull your strings. You big Spectre. You get her out of jail." You go. You Zoom call her outside of her cell, and Shepard, to his as persuasive as he is, he's like, what are you going to do? Asking the Eclipse leader, what are you going to do after I let you out? And she says, I'm going to seek vengeance on all that wronged me and kill again until there's no one left to destroy. And Shepard's like, okay, can you focus that rage toward the Reapers? And she's basically just like, no. She looks at the player and goes, I will cause problems. Right. And so I back out of that dialogue choice. I go to for Captain Bailey. I'm thinking like, hey, is there another way we can get the Eclipse on our side without letting loose just serial killer from... And Captain Bailey's like, I don't know. Or I that's where I'm stuck. I've got all the other flavors of gang.
But those Eclipse are stubborn.
Yeah, and they're probably gonna be a decent number of battle points.
Right. Yeah, you want them on board.
Yeah, so there's that.
I don't remember details, but there definitely is an alternate solution there somehow.
Yeah. I'm sure of it. Yeah. What else did I do? What else do you think I did?
What else do I think you did?
Oh, I met up with Jack again.
Oh,
So
that's a heartwarming scene.
uh,
You're a known Jack hater,
yeah,
but
I don't like her character design.
Tell me how this
too,
reunion went.
or her personality. But you gotta have it because otherwise everybody would be so hunky dory. You'd be starving for contrarianism. Hey, we had a distress call from the University of Ohio or Space Ohio. It's full of gifted kids.
Yeah.
And Cerberus, or no, somebody was like, hey, there was not Kelly. Was Kelly's replacement, the dark-skinned British lady?
Oh, yeah.
She goes, I heard a distress signal and somebody said, we're on our way, pretending to be a Turians, but it definitely doesn't match a Turian we're on our way signal. I think that's just a Cerberus. The bad guys are pretending to be like EMTs and be like, oh, help us, we'll be there shortly.
Yeah.
But they're just going to kidnap all these super biotic
all the gifted kids.
mega minds. So Normandy flies in. Of course, there's Cerberus is running around collecting all these freakazoids. The Cerberus, I think after Shepard left Cerberus just hired the most evil Shepard clone available. Not a clone of him, but just the guy on the PA is like, you need to surrender to Cerberus. Your families will be spared. Do not resist. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting lost in this university, but that PA vocal track just loops for me for so long. So it's like, wow, Cerberus. You never. I almost wish during Mass Effect 2 you would have run into like the B team. And been like, oh, so this is what Cerberus actually is. Because who do you know that's from Cerberus? Like Jacob and Miranda. Both of like the coolest narcs in the galaxy. I wish that were some Cerberus goons that like
made you question
be like, oh, these guys are what's going to be left to fight in Mass Effect 3.
The only pushback I'd give on that point is you run into a bunch of Cerberus wrongdoing in Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, but they're not. I see them as just bad guys.
Right.
They're just
really
Geth to me.
They didn't have much of a distinct Cerberus identity
yeah.
back then. You only really pay attention to Cerberus when you enter Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, hey, of course, Jack. Oh, before I meet Jack, guess who I meet?
Not Zaid.
No.
Not Thane.
Would I have met either of those guys this early in the game?
Zaid might pop up, but nothing special.
Because I've done Rex, Morden, Garrus, and Jack now.
Did you run into? Well, you already met Liara. She's on Mars.
Oh, you have to, yeah.
Yeah, that's mandatory.
Yeah.
Have you met Tali?
No.
Okay.
Or Legion.
So who did you meet?
I met the freaking autism guy.
Oh.
Remember?
From Mass Effect 2.
Remember the scientist that's running Clockwork Orange type experiments on his autistic brother? And his defense to Shepard is like, it's fine. He's barely human, basically.
And he was the whole purpose of this inhumane experiment was to like communicate with the Geth or a VI or something.
The Mass Effect treading the line of these weird autism people can talk to our fictional robot antagonists. Yikes.
So you met him.
So I rescued him in Mass Effect 1 because of course.
Okay.
And he shows up in this university that
you love those callbacks.
And what is like the funny quip, the exchange that they have is autism boy, just the mascot. There's no one else in the galaxy with autism, just this guy.
He's the one representative.
He starts going into his 30.12 times 53 equals, and Shepard finishes the equation, and the autism guy just doesn't make eye contact because, of course, it just goes like, Shepard, I'm so glad you. It's fancy seeing you here. He's not that well spoken, but he basically says, hey, remember me? You rescued me from the robot mission in Mass Effect 1. Here's a cache full of weapons behind me.
Oh, sick.
He's like, I hacked the door, and you go over there and I get access to mods I wouldn't have had otherwise. So that's just like put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I actually remember that cameo happening in my playthrough.
Because you don't care about autistic people and you left him to
Not true.
He's still hooked up into the Raspberry Pi.
Ooh, so my most recent playthrough
Was Renegade.
was my Renegade playthrough.
Yeah.
So he probably was still hooked up.
Shepard was just like, he's doing God's work in that mechanical abomination.
Torture tube. Yeah.
And then I ran into Jack. And of course, Jack slaps you and says, I told you not to side with Cerberus, because that's who you're killing in this level.
Right.
And you get into a big robot after you talk to her. And boy, does that robot control not the best.
Not the best.
In Titanfall, it is not.
It's a big mech-like thing, right?
It's I want to call it an Atlas.
And you fight them throughout. Yeah, Atlas. You fight them throughout the campaign occasionally, right? Did you know if you're equipped with like a sniper rifle, if you just hammer the cockpit visor of those mechs in a standard encounter, it'll eventually shatter. You can kill the pilot and then hop in yourself, and just like and anytime you fight them.
Oh.
If you concentrate enough fire right on the protective glass.
That changes everything.
It's hard to do. I only know about this because there's an achievement for doing it.
I got to try that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
fun.
not done fighting those guys.
Right. Yeah, they'll keep popping up. Don't worry.
Yeah. So thank you for rescuing us, Commander Shepard. What are we going to do when in the final battle is the dialogue choice. And I think the most gung-ho of the students is like, we should be on the front lines. I'm surging with biotic energy. And Jack is like, no, you'll die. These Reapers are bad. You should be a supporting class.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you want to do, Shepard? Oh, you should, anytime, I'm putting on my producer hat right now. Anytime I say, and he was like, or instead of, and they said, or I go instead of I say.
Yeah.
Call me out. I hear.
Those are some complicated instructions.
No. Just anytime I'm recounting some events and I say Commander Shepard goes, you need to be like do it again. Be like Commander Shepard says, because it's bad. I don't know if we're just echo chambering back that form of speech to each other, but it's gotten. I do it all the time, and I plan to not do that. As
you
much.
want like a thesaurus to mix it up.
Not a thesaurus, but I want to say what I mean as opposed to using something goes or something is like.
Oh, I see. Okay, you want to be more intentional with your speech.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
So Jack goes.
I'll try.
I did it deliberately, and you didn't stop me. Jack, Commander Shepard says, "We are going to keep you students in the back ranks.
Very Paragon.
Just putting that blue force field up. Not gonna force you into the battle. And when you check your battle points back on the Normandy." It ticks up by however much. I assume if I chose to put them on the front lines, it would have given me like 200
even more
war points. But then Jack would hate me twice as hard.
Right.
So
how do you feel about that new Jack ponytail?
Jack with hair is better,
moving in the right direction.
But I will take any cosmetic choice that puts her in a cardboard box.
Damn.
As soon as I can.
Wow, you're just way too harsh on Jack.
I mean, fine. What, you love her so much? Get your own wall art of it.
She's not my favorite.
Yeah,
but
I'm getting you a disc plate.
No need.
Use promo code Jack to save 10% off all your Okay. Hey, that's pretty much everything. I'm gonna start scanning, getting that Eclipse freak to calm herself, and then I'll have more to say about Schmorden.
Yeah, I look forward to getting the entire Schmorden review. I do have a couple pieces of advice for you that will eventually become relevant.
Sure.
Just the order in which you tackle some DLC missions.
How would I possibly?
All right, there's one.
I could have. Yeah.
There's one that takes place on the Citadel. It's called the Citadel DLC. Save that for the very last thing you do. Just like right before you cross the point of no return final mission, do Citadel right then and there. It kind of serves as the capstone of Mass Effect 3. In fact, fans might argue it serves as the true emotional closure of the series that the actual ending doesn't provide.
It's like Deathloop.
Yeah,
This is the DLC you were talking about that puts more cutscenes in.
It's one of the finest pieces of DLC I've played in
video
any game.
Wow.
It's so good. It's got some fan servicey elements in like the best way.
Because I've already run into Kasumi and Miranda on the Citadel.
Very cool. You'll see some more of them.
Okay.
And yeah, just save the Citadel DLC for the very last thing you do. It's the cherry on top of Mass Effect 3. And don't sleep on the Leviathan DLC, which I don't know how you... It starts on the Citadel.
I did that.
You did?
I went to
someone's lab.
Somebody was the dude is like a Spectre. No, he's researching a relic, of course.
Yes. Okay.
And his assistant is there, and it's like, can I get you? Sorry, I did it again. And his assistant says, "Can I get you a coffee, Commander Shepard?" And he walks off camera. The scientist man says, "We've been tracking. I'm having such a hard time locating the source of the thing that pooped out this relic.
Yeah.
But I found a clue. I think he's on." And then the assistant comes back into the scene holding a gun and blows away the scientist.
Right.
And Shepard has to restrain the student, and the student in the scuffle where Shepard like tackles the student. The latter says, "What happened? I blacked out for 2 seconds." And the Citadel cops arrive, and they're like, "What?" And they say, "What's going on?" And Commander Shepard says, "The student blew away the most brilliant man in the galaxy, and now I don't know where these relics are supposed to be." And Edie says, "Well, why don't we just look around this man's house?" So I go up to his bedroom, and I look at a child's drawing. Like just classic LA Noire style, just rotating the clue.
Enter detective mode.
Yeah, as I walk toward it, the tone chimes, dun dun dun, and I think nothing of it. I go back downstairs. I bash on his computer until I get the right password. It's a video call between him and not Cerberus, but just another the second smartest guy in the world. Is the key to finding the Leviathan safe? And the smartest guy says, "Yes, I will keep it close to my heart." And Edie doing her best God of War Ragnarok goes, close to his heart. What could that mean? I will have to analyze. Beep boop. And so I go back up to the child's drawing because, of course, there's a nice red crayon heart that's got some binary digits underneath it. And Shepard's like, "Oh, looks, we found the key." And then I plug all my little LA Noire clues into a glowing galaxy orb.
Right.
And I go, cryptid sightings plus crop failure plus OnlyFans subscriptions, and then it poops out. It's supposed to poop out a location because I don't think it did.
Oh,
I didn't.
Yeah, if you apply all the right filters,
I found like 6 clues and like X number of filters.
Interesting.
And Edie says some of our criteria may not be relevant. And I
Sounds
do that
like-
for like 8 minutes.
Okay.
And then I get out of there thinking like maybe it'll just pop up later.
No, there's something you're missing in that room.
You're telling me get back in there, coach?
Yep, you need to put on your detective cap once again, find some more filter criteria. But yeah, once you
did everything.
Once you move on, the mission is nothing special, but it has cool lore implications.
Sure.
I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. It's good that I would have totally forgot to bring that up. because it didn't go anywhere yet.
Right. Yeah, you're still in the apartment.
Right.
Cool.
That's
a substantial Mass Effect update.
It was 30 minutes of something.
Well, I can give you 30 minutes of something right now.
Oh.
Let's talk about what I've been playing, what I finished playing. I wrapped up Metroid Prime Remastered. And let me tell you, I have an alternate title. I think it should be called Metroid Crime Against Good Game Design. Let's go.
Oh.
I did not like Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh, dear.
I have significantly soured on this game since we last spoke.
Ooh. Oh, this is your immortality.
This is my immortality. This may just be the greatest disparity between critical reception and my impressions of a game. The gap is wide. This game is beloved, and I do not care for it. I don't recommend it.
Wow.
Let's dig into this eggshell here. So this is, of course, the 2002 GameCube game. Recently got reissued on the Switch. It is a 3D interpretation of the Metroid franchise, where Samus Aran is once again...
Well, so was that one.
So was which one?
So was the 2002 one.
Yeah, it's the same game.
Okay. Phew. All right.
We're talking about the same thing here.
Right.
It's Metroid Prime. I'm just playing the Switch version. Metroid Prime, Samus is on an alien planet. She explores it in 3D, eventually kills like a big Metroid and gets off the planet. Same formula, if you've ever played a Metroid game. Here's the issue. So this Metroidvania style of game, it's known for the B word, backtracking. Covering old ground, returning to locations you've been to before with new abilities in tow that allows you to reach that ledge you couldn't quite jump to before, or unlock that secret door now that you have the ice weapon.
Yeah.
And I would not ever want a Metroidvania game to skip the backtracking component.
Because then it would be Dead Cells.
It would just be a linear game of constantly pushing forward. No, you want to return to old locations so that your appreciation can grow for all like the progress you've made, all these new abilities and tools you have. You can access the new areas. You can insert the locks into the keys that eluded you before. That's fun. That's the whole hook of these style of games. So why did the backtracking in Metroid Prime really get on my nerves, where I love it in Metroid Dread. I loved it in Hollow Knight. It's just, I think the quantity that was required was exorbitant. There's just too much. Mm-hmm. The other point of frustration...
Here, lick your lips really quick. There, you got it.
Thank you.
Other point of frustration. This game, man, it was so opaque to me which direction to go. Maybe it's because I'm dealing with this whole extra dimension involved. It's a 3D game. It's not a 2D plane anymore. But I could not recall... I would get the gravity suit, and now I'm like, okay, cool. What has opened up to me? Where do I want to go and put this to the test now? And I just couldn't remember. The level design didn't flow in such a way that I felt directed to, obviously, this is where the game designers want me to go next. And, I almost think the game designers realized that the authoritative hand of the designer pushing you in a certain direction was kind of weak or absent. And do you know how I know the designers felt this to be the case? There's a mechanic in the game called, it's like, after a certain amount of time goes by, Samus will just spontaneously receive, incoming scan data. Yeah, there's no player action you do to trigger this happening. Just if the game realizes you've been lost for too long, it'll just tell you where to go. Okay.
Like this, if this invisible clock counts down long enough, you'll get the scan data. It'll just highlight right on the map. Beep 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 beep. Go here, dummy. You're in the wrong direction. And here's the thing. So that mechanic, that hint, that answer, it basically spoon feeds you, was helpful to me. But the whole problem is, if you're relying on spoon feeding the answer of where to go in your exploration game, maybe you've gone wrong somewhere. Maybe there aren't enough signposts telling the player where they should be going if you've built in this mechanic that just gives away the answer if your player's just treading water in the wrong direction.
So Dead Space has the little arm. What's Dead Space's main character's name? Lucas?
I've never played Dead Space.
But he can just squeeze a little ball and then a line just shows up on the ground where he's supposed to go.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's okay because Dead Space is really dark and hard to see.
Sure.
But if that were in Metroid, Dead Space is not an exploration game.
Not to the same extent a Metroid game is.
So that would be cheating.
It would kind of be cheating.
Yeah.
But
you're supposed to be lost.
You're supposed to be lost. A big component of the joy in these games is figuring out where to go. Far too often, I would just be totally clueless and either look it up externally on a website on my phone, or the developers would say, just send me the scan data that tells me exactly where to go. And the other obnoxious part about receiving this scan data, since it's on a timer, I might actually be going in the right direction, just proceeding a little bit slowly, and I'm almost to where I want to go, and all of a sudden I get incoming scan data. I'm like, okay, what's up? And then it highlights that like the answer, the big payoff of where I'm supposed to go is like the adjacent room I was about to walk into. So it just kills all the climax behind it. Hopefully that made sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
it ruins the surprise right as I'm about to cross the finish line.
Yeah.
It goes, hey, you're supposed to go here.
It's Atreus.
I was about to.
It's God of War Ragnarok again.
It's God of War Ragnarok all over again.
You're doing the legwork, and meanwhile Atreus is like, maybe the waterfall is the key.
Yeah, I think this mechanic of scan data helping you out could have been improved. Instead of being exclusively on a timer, there should have been some proximity component to it, where they send you the scan data if you're clearly walking in the wrong direction. If you're on the right path, the right critical path, maybe you don't need that help after all. But the system wasn't able to differentiate between the two, as far as I could tell. So that's annoying.
Outer Wilds, Echoes of the Eye could use some scan data.
Yeah.
Tell me how to get through a pitch black mansion.
That's another game all about the joy of discovery and exploration where I don't want to be told where to go.
I need it though.
Yeah, at times you kind of do need it.
The sand is filling up.
I've got to say, the Phazon mines.
Whoa!
The Phazon mines.
The Phazon mines are beloved.
True to this game's original format, there is no autosave feature. The only time you lock in progress in Metroid Prime is when you remember to walk up to the save point room and manually save. Otherwise,
because it's left over from the original game.
Yeah, that's an antiquated feature of older games.
Dead Space's remake did away with that.
Okay.
Now the little currency is exclusively for like opening doors.
Great. Sounds like a great quality of life improvement. The developers at Retro Game Studios did not do the same with Metroid Prime. So the Phazon mines, you get to save right as you enter them. And then it's just this long trial by fire of combat encounter.
Is there literal fire?
There's lasers, no fire.
Okay.
There's a big puzzle room you've got to solve. There's a mini boss you fight. And you're still going. And
is it the Underminer?
So I died, lost about 20 minutes of progress. Did it again, died again, had to start it all over again.
You should lower the difficulty like me.
This game does not let you.
What?
Otherwise, I would have. Once you've started a game, you're locked in. Yep, just all these antiquated features of days from...
This is a 99?
This is a 2002 game.
I meant the Metacritic score.
Oh, the Metacritic score? This remaster is at like a 94. People love it. Here's the thing. On my third attempt, I thought I'd be canny. I'd be smart. I'd think with my head here. I would make it most of the way through the Phazon mines. circle back, save my progress, and then power through. So I made it pretty far, but I was getting low on health. So I was like, okay, it's time to cut my losses. Let's circle back, lock in this progress for real this time, because there's no way I want to play this all again. So I start to backtrack. Enemies have respawned in the old rooms.
Yeah, it's Dark Souls.
I got killed.
Yeah.
The backtrack, just further frustration of the backtracking. Enemies just respawn. And they're always in the same spot. There's no improvisation.
Chris, I tell you what, I will beat, and then we'll do this for a charity fundraiser. I will play the Phazon Mines. You'll play the Firewalker VTOL missions.
Ooh.
And the person who has the most fun has to actually be the one to donate to charity.
I'd be shocked if I don't walk away the winner, because those Hammerhead VTOL missions, can't get enough of them. Love them. Highlight. So the Phazon Mines. What a low point in this game. I've got a few more criticisms here. Not a big deal, but talk about for the year of first-person games I've played with grappling hooks in them.
Yeah.
Metroid Prime has a grappling hook. It's the least dynamic grappling hook imaginable. It just pales in comparison to Halo Infinite, which is Halo Infinite's grapple hook, very physics-based, very flexible depending on what kind of angle you're shooting it at or how far away, where Metroid Prime's might as well just be an escalator you equip that just takes you from point to point. Mm-hmm. There's like very little room to experiment with this grappling hook. All it does is it's basically a shortcut, which is fine.
It's a zip line?
It's a glorified zip line.
It's like the Batman Arkham zip line?
I had more fun with the Batman Arkham zip line.
Who didn't?
Yeah. Let's talk about this game's combat.
Yeah.
Last episode I said, you shoot stuff in Metroid Prime, but it's not really the main point. Like, it's a first-person shooter in the same way Portal is.
Right.
I want to walk some of that statement back.
Redacted.
You do engage with combat quite a bit in Metroid Prime, to the game's detriment.
Oh.
So here's the thing. This is a first-person shooter game where you can lock on to targets. You pull the left trigger, hold it down, and you no longer need to aim. You are as if you have like From Software locked onto a target.
Yeah.
You can lock onto an enemy, and then...
that makes sense, because that's for melee options.
Right. And From Software, it makes sense because it's all about locking your camera angle, because it's all about the dodging and the parrying and stuff. Metroid Prime is a shooting game. It's a first-person shooter where you need not aim. So you might be asking yourself, Chris, if you don't need to aim during the combat encounters, what are you thinking about when you shoot? And the answer is nothing. You're just hitting the fire button as you don't need to aim. The decision space of the combat in Metroid Prime begins and ends with which color gun do I want to shoot? The red one, the white one, the yellow one, or the purple one?
I like the purple one.
If you once you've equipped the one you want to shoot, your thinking can cease. Your input is no longer required. You're just locked onto a target and you hammer the fire button, and that's it. Rinse and repeat. Enemies take too many shots, by the way. This is some brain dead combat, and you do far too much of it. The same kind of sentiment I'm about to express came up when I was criticizing Scarlet Nexus last year.
Oh.
All of these video games are a mix and mashup of different ratios of the experience. The designers allocate some portion of the experience to exploring, some portion to puzzle solving, some portion to combat. The designers of Metroid Prime allocated far too much runtime to the combat. It wasn't designed in a compelling enough manner to warrant the 50% of the runtime you're shooting guys when you're just locked on, not thinking at all. Poorly designed combat. Do not recommend. Oh my God, Metroid Prime. What do people see in this game? I'll tell you the one the one cool part. Okay, towards the end of the game, you eventually get an upgrade for your visor called the X-ray visor.
Yeah.
And here's the one cool part, which if I was playing this game in 2002, it would have been, pretty mind-bending.
It's detective mode.
You, with this X-ray vision equipped, you can suddenly see hidden things in the environment, platforms that have always existed there. You just couldn't see them. It almost feels a little bit like some of the coolest parts in Outer Wilds.
Spoiler.
I'll just leave it at that. But when you see, there were these floating platforms in this room this whole time that I could have jumped on, I just couldn't see them. It was opaque to me. And you equip the X-ray vision, and you can suddenly see them or see through a wall to answer a puzzle or something. Those are cool aha moments that the game does provide. They're few and far between, though. I would have liked to see more X-ray vision shenanigans.
Make the whole game X-ray vision.
Yeah, if the whole game was X-ray vision and no combat, this would be a totally different story. But unfortunately, the Metroid Prime, we get it. It's almost as if when this game released in 2002, there was this inherent assumption that, hey, you're releasing a video game, you better shoot stuff in it.
If I'm not shooting stuff, what am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing here? Where I'm so glad the medium has progressed that nowadays we can get a game like Outer Wilds, which I feel like embodies the spirit of Metroid Prime, but the developers realized, hey, it's 2019 when we made Outer Wilds. The player base is cool, has matured enough we can totally exclude combat. We don't need it. Just because you're a video game, you don't need combat. We've elevated ourselves to that point now. Where at the time when Metroid Prime released, that would have maybe been taboo. Or like the gamers at the time would have been like, what is this game? What a ripoff. I'm not shooting the bugs. So I think I've covered all my notes here. But yeah, the lackluster combat, the antiquated save system, the over-reliance on backtracking really soured me on Metroid Prime. Worst game I've played this year, at least in terms of my personal enjoyment.
You think the original is this bad?
I looked at gameplay of the original. This is a very faithful remaster. So yeah, it's
to its detriment.
To its detriment, in my opinion.
Wow. All right.
But critical. I could see why this game was reviewed very well in 2002. I don't know why people like it so much this time around. It's baffling to me. But I've spoken at length for far enough.
You're giving this show its real Anton ego.
Yeah, Anton ego. And this is not Chris pulling the legs of our listeners on April Fool's Day. No,
you already mentioned Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah, I did not like. This is not a gag. This is not a goof. Chris did not like Metroid Prime.
Dang. All right. Kids, if you want to play a Metroid game, play Metroid Dread.
Dread is slaps. Dread is awesome.
Yeah.
Don't bother with Prime.
Okay.
Keep your Metroid games 2D. You've heard it here first.
On to another 2D game.
Mind if I pound a protein bar?
Oh, please. By all means. There he goes. While Chris is doing this, I'm going to talk. It's time for our next segment. Everyone's just giving me games from the unlikeliest of places. So we're all familiar with the Epic Game Store. How it's just free games every day of the week. And you'd think that that's like the primary place I get games for free.
Yeah.
But now I'm running into a case where Netflix is if you would input your account, you get to play Terra Nil for free, which is like a city builder. And then if you have a YouTube Premium account like I do, you just get Game Pass on PC for a couple months. And what was my other thing? No, that was that.
Wait.
So,
Wait.
what?
Wait.
Oh, this became a segment. This segment, it's
Free
actually a
games,
segment.
you say. Boy, do I have a recommendation for you. Released yesterday from Sega.
Oh,
Perhaps.
I'm aware of this.
Perhaps my favorite Sonic game.
I showed it to Bailey.
The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
The trailer is amazing.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, because it's just a love letter to like you've seen him run, you've seen him jump. Now see him dead on the floor. it plays it completely.
I didn't think it was possible to make a Sonic game that would pique my interest, but this might just be the one.
How much of that is genuine and how much is just hater Chris?
It's pure haterade.
Okay.
I want to see deceased Sonic.
Yikes! just to get back at all of the all the
cringe.
Yeah. Well, good.
Continue.
So maybe I'll play. I don't even know it was free.
It's free.
Really? Wow.
Apparently, for a game that is probably put out just as like a promotional stunt for April Fool's Day.
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
It's apparently of a high quality for what is basically a joke.
Yeah.
I saw my favorite Steam review as I was browsing was one person was like, "This may just be my favorite Sonic game, and I don't know how to feel about that." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, join the club.
maybe I would empathize with that."
So good. I don't know which of these free games to play first. I put Terra Nil on my phone, so that's going to be competing with my Marvel Snapping. And then I didn't even try this Game Pass. I've played all of the Game Pass games worth Game Passing, right?
Do you even have Game Pass?
That's what I'm saying. My YouTube account is just giving me however many, and I can play until like the end of May. So that's on the docket. And also, moving on to the next segment called Janice, are you listening? I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Academy Award winning sweep of a movie that Janice told me awakened something in him. Mainly, he goes, I think this is why they make movies.
For once, we're going to discuss a film that we've both seen.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay, great.
I saw it in theaters, so it's been a little while.
That's a good movie to see in theaters.
How did you watch it?
Right on that couch.
Okay. Was it on a streaming service or something?
Yeah, with Bailey. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that movie is so anti-Bailey, it hurt her.
Whoa.
So, you know what Bailey, I mean, okay, so I'm working from most minor to most egregious. This movie is an homage to The Matrix, Jackie Chan, martial arts.
Yes.
It's not that way until like 30 minutes in, and then it's the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So Bailey's not the biggest Jackie Chan fan, and that's fine. She doesn't like people. She like as much as the gags that they do. What's your favorite Jackie Chan intellectual property? Did you ever watch the animated show?
No.
No. Chris didn't watch animated shows until Girlfriend Factory. So my favorite Jackie Chan bit is the one where he's naked.
Okay.
And he's preserving his modesty. He puts like a dinner plate in front of himself, but there's bad guys all around him that they keep trying to beat him up. So he has to keep keeping them at bay, but always using one hand to cover himself up.
I see.
With like a silk scarf, and he rolls himself up, and then a bad guy pulls the scarf, and it's like, oh no, we're gonna see some dong.
Yeah.
But he deftly puts like a frozen fish in front of it or whatever. So like great stuff. Where this ties into Everything Everywhere All at Once
is that you see some dong.
No. That's the one thing they leave out of Everything Everywhere.
But you do see dildos though.
Yeah, you do. Hot dog fingers?
Yeah, very phallic.
Yeah,
lots of phallic stuff, but maybe no explicit dongs.
Oh wait, you do.
You do.
The butt plug.
Yeah.
there's tons of anal penetration.
Right.
But I must have blocked that out of my memory for whatever reason. So
That's the one part that stuck with me.
Bailey may have taken exception to that as well, but the thing she took exception to the most was the animal abuse. Do you remember when like the ditzy laundromat customer girl who is like always on her phone turns into an agent of whatever, a Time Lord keeper, and uses her little chihuahua as basically just a nunchuck
Oh yeah.
combat thing. And what does Evelyn do? Evelyn at one point, she's so immediately Bailey's mouth is agape, and she's like, "What is this?" And then that scene ends with Evelyn snipping the leash, and the dog just careening away into the background, and the director is like, "See, haha, funny," and Bailey was just like, "Please stop watching this." So I finished the movie on my own time. Janice told me not to talk about it, but I have a podcast, so I think it is a wonderful movie about family and just as fun of a time as Turning Red was. Turning Red, the other Asian movie that came out.
Okay. That one's animated.
Yes, but it hits all the same story beats.
Okay.
It's a mother and her daughter.
Okay.
What did Heath think of? I don't know. I'm so salty. All I was thinking about while I was watching Everything Everywhere All at Once was how much I hate immortality and how this was just a better rendition of crazy mind-bending element that complements a down-to-earth story about a mother and her daughter.
Interesting.
Just the character relationship and then the science fiction elements, they just blended together into a nice little package, and I think that's why both Janice and I love this movie and hate immortality.
Janice said immortality pretty good, 8 out of 10.
You know what? I think that that 8 was actually sideways. So it was infinite, but no, it was also the denominator, and the 10 was the numerator.
So, I see.
My phone fell, and I was just looking at it upside down.
No, Everything Everywhere All at Once, pretty singular film, very memorable. I haven't seen anything else quite like it, despite its homages to old kung fu movies, martial
And
arts.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille?
Rakakuni.
Everyone Can Cook? Where was the reference? Oh, yeah. There's a guy with a mouse on his head.
That's
Yeah, obviously. Like I said, been a while since I saw the movie. Yeah, I'm super glad I watched it, but I don't know how much it necessarily appealed to my sensibilities and what I go into expecting from a film.
much in the same way that people are like, you got to read this comic book. We're like, yeah, I'm sure it's a plenty good comic book.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not one I would eagerly seek out a rewatch on, but I'm really glad I saw it.
Yeah, it's fun to discuss, and that brings us to the end of this discussion. So
Fair enough.
what else you got?
I've got a couple more odds and ends,
Sure.
and I know you do too.
Sure.
Here, let me just talk super briefly. I've been dipping back into Deathloop just to mop up some final achievements.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I've got to say, Arcane Studios, across their entire output, always come up with some very fun achievements.
Chef kiss because they're French.
Yeah, oui. So just the two standouts for Deathloop, as I'm just trying to avoid putting the game back on the shelf to be finished. I'm looking for excuses not to be finished with the game.
Be my what's her name? Juliana?
Juliana.
Yeah, be my Juliana.
Oh, that would be super fun.
Can you do-
You can enable friend only mode.
Let's go.
Yeah, we can do it. We can totally organize that. There is an achievement called clean-ish hands.
I'm gonna put the controller down and just wait for this new scanning data to show me where the escape route is, and you'll be like, I'll treat you like the end. Metal Gear.
The Metal Gear boss.
I'll wait till you die of boredom. And then
Because there is a real world possibility I just log off if it takes too long. The achievement in Deathloop, clean-ish hands, very fun to pursue. It's of course a reference.
It's Anton Corvo.
Every Dishonored game has a clean hands achievement for beating the game without taking a single life. And this is a riff on it because in Deathloop, you must kill the 8 targets.
It's a progression blocker.
But the achievement is complete the game only killing your targets. Don't kill any bystanders, anyone else. So it was fun. It totally recontextualized how I approached each mission. I totally switched out my loadouts. I would suddenly leverage the slab ability called Aether, which turns you invisible way much more because I'm just trying to avoid confrontation. Where the other abilities I would use were for much more lethality. This is about
crowd control.
Yeah. Totally different incentives, totally different approaches to the kills you've got to do if you're trying to you don't want any collateral damage. So cleanish hands, loved all the ways.
Do you still have to kill the scientists' clones, all 17 of them?
No, you don't. There's a workaround. Yeah. Otherwise, that would be a huge pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's still pretty dirty.
Still pretty dirty. So cool. That's one of the other achievement that I thought was really fun was jump into a level in Deathloop, take out all visionaries without ever firing a gun.
Oh, dropping a piano on their head type of deal.
So now you've got to exclusively leverage either the environment as a weapon or just your supernatural abilities. And like that, because the game is so shooting focused, that just totally changes how I jump into a level. So yeah, I really appreciate how Arcane achievements across the board incentivize you playing the game in all these different manners that the games are mechanically robust enough to support, but you might not otherwise do of your own free will. So yeah, shout out to Deathloop achievements. They're a lot of fun. What was that face you just made?
Deathloop is available through Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, because it's technically a first-party Xbox Microsoft game now.
Thanks,
They
Microsoft.
bought Bethesda. You have Game Pass? Okay, cool.
The YouTube thing that I told you about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was only half listening to that.
Between bites.
I was trying to digest the protein. Sorry. Yeah. Hopefully there's crossplay.
We could do that today while there's no game night because not a soul on this earth.
Not a soul is available. Cool. That's my Deathloop talk. Do you have a...
You're going to get so bored. They're going to be like, I'm gonna hang up my artwork and then you'll like finally sit down and you'll see me cross your path and you'll just bop and then just get on, move on to the next artwork and it's like, God damn it, I gotta restart at everything. Yeah. That's the most efficient.
That's the
Chris way.
The fun. The troll aspect of Deathloop's multiplayer is that the cult player is far more invested in what's going on than the Juliana player is. If Juliana gets killed, boom, you're back to matchmaking, you hop into a new game. If you get killed as cult, that ruins your entire day playthrough. Like there's a asymmetry.
It's like getting halfway through the Phazon mines.
Exactly. There's a big asymmetry to the consequences of death in Deathloop multiplayer that I find comedically funny as the Juliana player. Yeah. All right. That's enough Deathloop talk. Did you have an update about Call of the Sea?
Oh, I finished it. And I think my only update was I wanted to walk back what I said about the lack of closed captions on the clues.
The script.
The cursive in your journal that documents the plot thus far, that doesn't have any closed captioning. But if you pick up a document that's mission critical and you hit the read button, it will translate it into subtitle font and size.
Oh, thank goodness.
So that I'll walk back. Hey, guess what? This game also has like a weird make your choice final ending Gears 5 ending choice.
There's a binary choice right at the end.
They don't set up a sequel, but it is very much like should I stay or should I go type of deal.
Okay.
And Wait, was there more to talk about with Call of the Sea? I think. Oh, there was one that was egregious. I'm gonna flat out spoil it. When you Call of the Sea, when you're in an underwater section, there is a inconspicuous button you're supposed to hit on this pedestal for which there's nothing else like it in the game. Throughout the whole game, yeah, you're doing a bunch of like puzzles for which there are Polynesian buttons and rocks and things that you can toggle on and off. This one asset of a button on a rocky podium submerged in water, the only one of its kind, and I'm swimming at the speed of swimming, and I'm like, what am I doing here? That was the only part that really took me out of it. Otherwise, Call of the Sea, nice puzzle game. It was worth my time and my free money.
Worth the price of admission of free.
Yeah, that's right. So
tepid praise.
It's something. Maybe I'll remember another notable thing, but that's it for that game.
Okay.
I put it squarely in the 60s.
Okay. So
in my top 100 games of all time.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant by that.
Not a 100-point scale.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
I would put Metroid Prime somewhere in the 60s.
Oof.
On a 100-point scale.
Yeah.
Not my top 100.
Right.
Cool. I actually do have one last game I squeaked in last night and this morning. I said I was going to do it. I've been saying I'm going to do it for years. I jumped into Resident Evil.
Yay!
Playing my first one.
Rear.
Yeah, I guess.
Resident Evil 4 Remake. The 4 is like a A.
Oh, yeah.
Rear.
So all the Resident Evil 4 hype convinced me to boot up Resident Evil 2 Remake. So that's what I'm playing.
All right.
I'll work my way up to 4. So yeah, I'm playing as Leon. I'm in the police station. I have just discovered the underground segment of the police station. So that's where I am. It's early goings. I love this game. I am hooked, man. Hook, line, and sinker.
For its inventory management.
I am super into it. Funnily enough, yeah, once again, this is kind of the same thesis I put forward about Doom Eternal. This is a resource management game masquerading as a shooter, where in this game, your every bullet counts, every health pickup is a lifeline to you. It is
the scariest horror element of them all is to whether or not to shoot the guy as opposed to conserve your ammo.
Right, exactly. The scariest part is
the gore and viscera. That's whatever. Take it or leave it.
Right, and the comparisons of this game to Doom Eternal. It's funny where they're both asking similar resource management questions. They're on opposite ends of the pacing spectrum. Because Doom Eternal, it's frenetic. You're making snap judgments all the time, improvising at the drop of a hat, trying to make snap judgments. Where Resident Evil, as a franchise, I assume, but particularly in Resident Evil 2 Remake, it's a very slow, methodical game where you're dealing with this tense tone at all times of where do I go? What is the best use of my resources? It's almost at a glacial pace where in Doom Eternal, where you will fire off a volley of rockets and try to conserve ammo, but it's not a big deal if you waste shots in Doom. Every bullet really does count in Resident Evil, where I am as soon as I miss a shot, I am considering the reload of my save, not of my gun, of my save file, because everything is so scarce. This game, it's like a zombie outbreak. You're this new inductee into the police force, Leon. things are going bad. Leon seems kind of thick in the head. Like the situation is dire. The city's on the verge of complete anarchy, and he's like, what's going on here? He's just very nonchalant with everything. So that there's definitely Japanese goofiness in the tone as well, which helps temper the pure horror aesthetic and make it more palatable to me.
What? So there's like a gut busting, like a woman on the floor turns into like the ones that crawl on the ceiling, kind of, just like an animation of her like breaking her limbs to like get contorted, and Leon will be like, that lady has issues.
Exactly. Something like some gross understatement for the situation.
Like, this Mr. X guy won't leave me alone.
I haven't met him yet.
Oh,
I'm that early on. But this game also heavily relies on backtracking, which I just said. I just used backtracking as like a curse word when describing it in Metroid Prime. And here, I don't mind at all. Partially because, the map system, the map mechanic in Resident Evil is so helpful. Oh my gosh. Every room
I'm familiar.
Is meticulously chronologed for you, where it'll change the color coding of every room on the map to tell you, hey, you've scoured every point of interest in this room. You have no reason to return here. That is so handy to know. A room will become blue if it's totally combed over for goodies. It'll remain red if there's still something to discover. So you know exactly which parts of the police station you need to return to, which ones you need not bother searching any further.
Now that's what I call new scanning available. What's the...
Yeah, new scan data incoming.
Yeah.
This is just quality of life through the roof in Resident Evil. I am never lost with what to do. The puzzles are pretty intuitive. Also...
Herbs.
Yeah, I've collected a bunch of red and green herbs. There's a combining mechanic. Also, when you find like a hit pouch, which increases your inventory by just a mere 2 slots, it feels like you've leveled up.
Oh my god! Yeah,
it's
you're a Charizard now.
Yeah, basically, it's such an innocuous upgrade, and yet it feels like the sky is parted and angels are swooping down and gifting you with 2 more.
Imagine if
slots.
Leon had a zip pocket. He could put so many grenades in it. I don't know.
The entire scale of the police department, it's such a small, dense location where any backtracking you do takes mere moments. It's like you're literally in like just this 3-story building. You're not combing over this entire planet in Metroid Prime.
That's why it works as a Dead by Daylight map too.
Oh, cool. And I also enjoy how Resident Evil has safe rooms. If you enter a room with a typewriter, rest assured, no zombies are going to get you. So it has me doing things where like I save, I store some equipment, and then I have mentally charted out my next run in my head of like, I'm going to hit these 2 rooms in quick succession. I know exactly what I'm going there to do. You need to be very deliberate with how you when and where you expose yourself to the zombies walking around. And then, just to make the backtracking even less egregious, every zombie you kill in Resident Evil, which to permanently kill a zombie takes a fair amount of resources. Like,
break it down in case people are listening to this episode late in the dystopian future.
Oh, yeah, sure. A zombie in the Resident Evil franchise will take a good 3 or 4 shots to the head. That's 3 or 4 bullets you need to expend.
To knock it down.
To knock it down, which it may or may not be permanently dead. If you want to make sure, you then walk over, slash it with your knife a couple times until you hear a very squishy sound effect. Then you know the zombie has been permanently dealt with. It will never rise again. And enemies in the map do not respawn, which was an Achilles heel in Metroid Prime when I tried to be safe and double back and then ran into a brick wall of all these freshly spawned enemies. Every zombie you care to pour your resources into dealing with in Resident Evil will stay dead, will not be replaced, and that makes every kill feel so meaningful.
Precious.
Yeah. Like now that I've eliminated all zombies on the 3rd floor, that's just like a safe area
You
for me.
just put on some swim trunks and just let loose.
Yeah, Leon just wipes his brow. He can rest easy on the 3rd floor.
Until he hears thump, thump, thump,
Yeah,
thump.
until I encounter Mr. X. So, oh my gosh, so many little bits of design that I have been loving in Resident Evil. Here's a old game from the 90s that was modernized for the remake, and it shows.
Capcom does what retro don't.
Exactly. Perfect. There you go.
No notes.
Let's just end it there.
Wait, no, I wanted to talk about King of the Castle.
Oh, I don't know what King of the Castle is.
And that brings us to our next segment.
Oh, I just meant end Resident Evil talk.
Yeah,
that's
you
all
did.
I meant.
Yeah, you did.
Are we done with games we've been playing?
I haven't played any of the games.
Okay, then this is where we'll insert a break. This will not be an intermissionless episode.
Despite my best efforts.
And we'll come back with more news and stuff.
And we're back.
We're back. Okay, you were saying something about a castle.
Okay, well, hey everyone, we're what's that over there? It's a box. Let's mosey on into it. It's time for an impromptu cardboard corner.
Oh,
Chris, what was the game that you, me, Dan, Justin, and Andy played on Tabletop Simulator?
When would this have been?
During COVID.
Oh, probably Wavelength.
No, the king, reign of
gotcha.
something.
The King's Dilemma.
Yeah, the King's Dilemma. Who did we play that with?
It was you, me,
Justin, Dan,
because Dan was the winner, and Nathan.
Nate. Oh my God, I confused Nate with
And Andy.
Simple mistake. The King's Dilemma is our favorite immersive sim. Until you say the right words, I'm going to say wrong words.
It's a branching narrative campaign board game
where you play like a noble.
Yep, a noble
influencing
house.
the royal decision maker.
Yep, the politics. Each individual gameplay session was a monarch's reign, and then the monarch would die. And we were each a noble house trying to influence how the king ruled.
Right,
his reign.
You were like the C dynasty or something.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, so Chris, that's all fine and dandy. What were the pros and cons of this thing? The pros were obviously like one decision could waterfall into another and just snowball.
Yes. There would be 4 play sessions down the line. Consequences would arise from some vote gone wrong.
Feeding those peasants the tainted wheat.
Yeah, Celestina, the
witch.
The witch up to no good.
Uh-huh.
Something like that.
Yeah. And what were the cons?
And the cons. You play it once and you're done. You can't replay
Poor replay value.
Right. You know what's going to happen.
Also, the cost of it's a long form game for which all the boys need to be available and like mentally prepared.
Right. It has the drawback of like having a ongoing role playing group where you need the same cast of players each and every session. Yeah.
For like 20 sessions.
Yeah, we played it like 16 times or something.
Yeah. Open your phone.
Open my phone.
You're gonna go look at King of the Castle.
King of the Castle.
Yes.
Okay, I have heard of this.
Oh, okay.
I'm at least familiar.
This is the game I want to play most just from watching it in action. I watched a Twitch stream of a guy playing with like 400 people.
This game is intended for streaming, right?
You can play offline with like 24 folks.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Or maybe 24 is the minimum. I know it's their website advertises that it is made for Twitch. I don't know whether or not that's the prerequisite.
All right, I'm looking at the game.
The too long didn't listen TLDL would be, this is all of the fun of making cool choices that have ramifications across you represent the nobles that have their own goals, and everybody else is playing has their own goals, and the king has their goals, and the king can like veto certain decisions, and it perfectly solves the issue of like, oh, guys, we've been playing for a while, but we're not at a good stopping point yet. This is hell. Of King's Dilemma, where the votes are on a timer. The king can obviously take as long as they want, and one person's the king. This I can't see like a single downside other than the fact that the replayability is poor. This game looks awesome. It looks like all the fun. What's the Scotland, England, Wales game?
Oh, The King is Dead.
The King is Dead. In that game, you're trying. It's just an area control tabletop game.
Yeah.
This one also has like not area control. Sorry. If you're getting bodied by the king and the other noble factions, and you just can't seem to get your trade high enough or your faith low enough, you can just rebel and try to take over the kingdom by force if you have like a good military. And you can maybe sucker another nobility to rebel with you, depending on how their dissidence is. It's got all the systems that you want, and all I need to do is round up 100 more Chris's, and we can have the best game night imaginable.
The high player count requirement does seem like a hurdle to clear.
And Chris's mind, he's thinking like, I wouldn't want to play with a bunch of smooth brain mouth breathers that aren't down to clown. No one that I wouldn't invite to an in-person game night. I want to play with killers. And what would killers do? Well, killers would just make the right choice every time. So why don't I just play with like an AI-controlled faction? And to that, I think the unpredictability of hundreds of people controlling the noble factions sort of like bell curves out where like the right choice will just emerge.
Almost by the law of averages or something.
I think so. And so I think it would work as a game we should play. Sorry, why aren't you foaming at the mouth to play this game? Because it doesn't have a train. If it did have a train...
No, it intrigues me.
Is it the Reigns art style?
No, I like the stark color art
because we like
style.
Reigns, but it's too simple. This seems like the perfect gap between like I'd love to play King's Dilemma or a spiritual successor of it again, but we can't wrangle we can't assemble all the dream team without like, I'm sure I'm gonna flake out at least 5 sessions because now I'm engaged.
Yeah.
So this seems like the perfect match of like, Reigns is too simple. I can play it single person, but I wouldn't wanna. King's Dilemma, I'd love to play it again, but there's so much like opportunity
Few
cost.
opportunities to play.
Yeah. This sounds amazing.
Yeah,
where people can just get on their phones and do it.
I guess the high player requirement made me suspect I wouldn't be able to put a game together.
Oh, we should try.
All right, I'm on board.
We should try. If it weren't such a good game, I'd think Chris has a point. But no, this is leave it to me.
Okay,
Leave it to me.
Then I'm
because you're
down
gonna
to
be the king.
Oh, All right.
I'm gonna be
I'll accept the honor.
I'll be the I would play as like a noble, but I'm gonna have to do like all the tech stuff. But
Were you thinking with people we know?
yeah,
Okay. That would be a lot of fun.
and then it's just randos would fill in
right.
for NPCs.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I'm down to clown if we can arrange that.
All right, that's King of the Castle.
That's King of the Castle. We should probably deliver our eulogy for E3.
Okay.
So, E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. Guess what? They said they were coming back in 2023, but no longer. The show has been canceled. It will not be happening. So this is not new. The last time a big E3 showcase occurred in person was pre-COVID back in 2019. We talked about it. Mobius Tubes was still going back then.
Yeah.
And since we entered the COVID years, E3 has either not happened or it happened in like a digital-only substitute format.
Nintendo Directs.
Right. 2023, this was going to be the big coming back party. A bunch of the publisher partners kind of just said, nah, we're not coming back with you, E3.
Well, GDC is all you get.
Sony had already pulled out in like 2019, so that was old news. Microsoft wasn't going to be there. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was Ubisoft saying they were not coming. So the ESA, the body that puts on E3, had to announce its cancellation. Why this is different this time around is on the past several years, whenever the ESA said, no E3 this year, we'll see you next year. They did not give that disclaimer this time around.
Yeah.
This may be the final nail in the coffin. They have not announced plans to return in 2024. It seems like the industry has moved on and left E3 in the past, which is, it's a mixed bag. It's been a fun tradition. The first E3 occurred back in 1995 and has happened almost every year since then.
I also occurred in 1995.
You did. A good year for new ventures, I guess. But yeah, that might just be a thing of the past. It had a good nearly 25-year run. Yeah. Had like a 25, 26-year run, and now it's just gone. Now, there will still be like
Nintendo Directs.
Nintendo Directs, direct presentations from the publishers to the consumers that they just host online in a video format, and they probably spend way less money doing that. The main drawback to me is I liked how E3 provided this excuse to have this highly concentrated 4-day dose of video game news every June, where now that everyone has been scattered to the wind, all the publishers are doing their own thing, spread out across the summer, it is far more diluted. It's not this hot and heavy 4 days of gaming action. Now you get a drip feed of information across the entire summer season, and it's not quite as exciting. We still get just as much news. It's just not delivered in as potent a form as E3 provided.
And that would be cause for alarm for anybody living in an age where video games really need the big mainstream presence to feel legitimate. But we're living in The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
Video games have never been higher profile.
That's very true.
The Mario movie.
Yeah. So for many years, E3 was like the one time of the year where mainstream news outlets would pay attention to the video game industry. That's no longer the case. We don't need E3 for them to pay attention.
We've grown past it. Yeah.
We have prestige TV shows like HBO's Last of Us. And yeah, so that's just one more reason E3 need not exist anymore.
Right. Yeah.
But I have fond memories of, I remember one summer as a college student during an internship, I was typing away working where I had like E3 headlines coming through my headphones at the time as I worked to stay up to date on the news. And that'll never happen again. Partly because I work from home, but also because E3 is dead. But yeah, so E3, it was nice knowing you. You provided me some fun memories, but I think it never comes back at this point.
No.
I really did think it would be back this year.
No.
But I was naive. The publishers thought differently.
GDC is still good, though.
Yeah, I mean, that serves an entirely different function.
Game Developer Conference.
That's for like developers swapping ideas and putting on giving these like TED Talks on how did making my game go and what were the lessons I learned? What are takeaways that you should apply to your new game idea? Things like that. Where E3 was basically a glorified commercial.
True.
But yeah, GDC is alive and well. Cool.
On to Tetris.
Oh, the Tetris movie.
Catch it now on Apple TV. Chris,
you did not watch the Tetris movie, did
no,
you?
but it's all I can see on my Twitter feed. They've been advertising so much.
Oh, I see.
I can't scroll without seeing Taron Egerton. Is that his name? Good old Kingsman face. Chris, guess what made it into the film?
A
Game Grumps video.
Into the Tetris movie?
So, Chris, what is remember the Ryan Reynolds Free Guy thing?
Not even a little bit, no.
Okay, so Ryan Reynolds, you know him from movies. Oh, my freaking I liked it on Twitter, but they pulled the tweet.
Elon Musk pulled your tweet?
He himself. Game Grumps. So Free Guy, I'm going to try to do both. Oh, no, I spelled Tetris wrong. Yeah, Free Guy was just a major movie based on video games that I'm trying. Okay, this will have to do. And so who makes an appearance in the Free Guy movie? None other than Jacksepticeye. None other than like Markiplier.
Okay.
Who you know that they're like live reacting to the events of the film as if they were doing a reaction let's play.
Okay.
Of the game itself. And so it was like meta in that sense, but for the most part, everyone thought it was cringe. So that's like a deliberate use of the YouTube industrial complex being a movie tie-in.
Yeah.
This is just the filmmakers of Tetris be like, we need a scene from Punch-Out, looking up the Punch-Out. What aspect ratio is the video game Punch-Out? It's 4:3.
Right.
So what to do about the sides of the thing? Those would usually just be black.
Yeah.
The reason that it's this orange paste, flesh tone type color is because that's the color of background that appears in Game Grumps videos. They took game capture footage, not from a Punch-Out console, but from a YouTube video. That Game Grumps posted.
And Game Grumps, their calling card is the orange side panels.
Right.
So you
to
know
fill
the
in
source.
the 16:9 thing. Yeah. It's unmistakable. And
Can
it's
they
just
sue them about
it's
that?
just spliced in. Can you hear the scene that's going on? Wait. Yeah. Just watch it. So it's a dramatic scene.
Yeah.
And that's the that's
Hushed,
just the
hushed
funny.
voices as they watch a Game Grumps YouTube video.
Well, it's just like it might as well just you hear the sound effect and it's like Audio Jungle Pond 5. They didn't pay for it.
Right.
It's the equivalent of that. So I thought that was funny.
That is very funny.
What's the only other funny thing? No, it's the only funny video game thing.
What's our runtime at, Heath?
Damn, 140.
140.
Hour 40.
Do you want to do... We haven't done this in ages. Would you like to do a round of video game 20 questions?
Oh, I'm in the guessing chair.
You're in the guessing chair. Here,
Good segment choice.
So I'll pull up a notes pad to keep track of your guesses. This, of course, is the classic childhood playground game, 20 questions, where the guesser has 20 questions to narrow down to whatever I've thought of.
I'm going to make sure I don't cheat.
In this case, it's obviously a video game. I will write down the title so that it is locked in. And then, if you guess, do you want to make it so you only can explicitly guess a game's title once? So if you try to
clue
name
rules.
the game and you're wrong, you lose.
Right, the clue rules.
Yes. All right. I'm going to set you up with...
MLB's The Show.
Of course, it'll be something you're familiar with.
Crazy Taxi 2. King of Fighters for Girls.
I also need to make sure it's a game I know enough about to be able to comprehensively answer questions.
Chris, you know every game, even Halo Wars 2.
Barely know that game.
Cue dramatic, royalty-free background music.
Yeah. Okay. I have locked in the game. You may begin questioning me at any point.
All right, question 20. Did this game release between the years 2010 through 2019?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Does it star Commander Shepard? No. All right, next question. What console is it on?
Yes or no questions.
Yes or no questions?
You've got a decade of game releases to play around with.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we should narrow it down. Yeah, we should narrow it down. Is this game playable? Excuse me. How about 2015 through 2020?
You already know it's the furthest. It's 20. You said 2010 to 2019, so you need not specify 2020.
Right. Okay. 2015 to 2019.
Yes, it is.
Okay. This game released in 2019?
It did not. No.
Okay. Oh,
Afraid
okay.
not.
Darn. Okay. Less efficient use of my questions,
Right.
but
took
I
a bit of a
gained
gamble.
so much.
Took a bit of a gamble there.
Does this game primarily control from the first-person perspective?
It does not.
Okay. Does this game primarily control from the third-person perspective?
Yes.
Okay.
5 questions used.
That means it's not GTA, because GTA 5 came out in 2015? Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Is the main character a girl?
Yes.
Wow! Okay. Is this game playable on a Wii U?
I'm pretty sure I know the answer. I'm going to double check platforms. Who am I kidding? I don't need to check this. No.
All right. Okay. Chris, is this game... It's not Control, because that's 2019. And that's a third-person girl game. Other third-person girl games include... Senua's Sacrifice. Hey, Chris. Does the weapon she use... Is her primary weapon a sword?
Yes.
Oh boy.
8 questions used.
And if I get it within the first 10, my dick is this big. Okay.
If you get it within 10 questions, maybe it's 10 inches.
Does any part of this game take place in modern day?
No.
Oh, buddy. Oh, we're getting there. All right, you ready? I'm gonna go for it. Does my name appear in the game?
I believe that it does.
Yeah, it's is this game Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice?
Yes, you got it. That was you narrowed in on that so fast. I think
Your turn.
I think asking if the protagonist was a woman, that helps narrow it down quite a lot.
Who would have thought?
Since the answer was yes.
You couldn't
All right,
back away.
since that was so fast, let's flip the script here.
Yeah, now I do you.
Now you do me. I'm in the guessing chair. You, if you include guessing the title, that took you 11 questions.
Darn. So I'm only. So I have a tiny. Darn. Okay. All right. Everybody's ready for this. This smash hit of a game. And I gotta know things about it, I bet.
Yeah, you're going to want to be able to answer questions about it.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
I was going to pick Superliminal, but then I was like, I don't know enough about Superliminal.
I don't even know the gender of the main character.
Yeah.
I think it's just you, the player.
Ambiguous. You're allowed to say, like, I cannot answer that question. You get your question back.
Yeah, if I want to give up. All right, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, make it official. All right, I like your strategy, starting with a date range here.
What are the odds?
Is this game...
Different dramatic background music track.
Here we go. Did this game release in 2010 or later?
Yes.
All right, same window so far. Let's chop that window in half. Did this game release in 2016 or later?
No.
Okay, so it's a 2010 to 2015 game.
The golden age, some would say.
Yeah.
Some being not Chris.
Yeah, not Chris. I think narrowing it even slightly more might help, just because wedged right between 2010 and 2015, there was the new launch of a different console generation. So maybe we should differentiate between there. Did this game release in 2010, 2011, or 2012?
No.
Okay, so it's a 2013, 14, or 15 game. Very good. All right, that's 3. I'm keeping track. Are you keeping track?
I'll tally you. Yeah, don't.
I've done 3.
Don't sweat
so
it. Yeah.
Is this game exclusive to one certain platform?
No.
No. Okay, so it's on at least multiple systems. Good to know. Let's see. Does this game have a significant multiplayer component?
No.
Okay. So mostly just single player? Alrighty. Let's start working on probably genre. Does the player engage in shooting in this game?
Probably not.
Okay. Probably not. Not a sure thing, but probably not. Let's see. Is this game known for its story?
Yeah.
Okay, so not a pure Into the Breach type of deal. All right, so it's a 2013, 14, 15 game, multiple platforms. You can shoot stuff, and it has a story. So things that it could be, BioShock Infinite fits that timeline. Halo 5 fits that timeline, but that has multiplayer.
Sorry, I said probably not to the
Oh,
you can shoot stuff.
My bad. I messed that up. So probably no shooting. Okay. So eliminate shooters from the discussion.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see here. Does this game... Does it have a... Is it like a licensed tie-in with some franchise outside of games?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's super helpful. That narrows it down quite a bit. So it could be like a Star Wars tie-in, or who knows. Okay, so it's not like a video game original franchise. That will come in handy at some point, surely. Let's continue. I'm so good with... How many questions am I up to?
8.
Okay, I'm nearing the halfway point. Did this game release on the generation of consoles that includes the Xbox One and PlayStation 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's that 8th generation console platform. It's on multiple systems. Did this game release in 2015?
No.
I'm at 10 questions.
Yeah.
Did this game release in 2014?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, 2014 game. 2014 games where you don't shoot things with a license. Known for its story. 2014. Weird. Okay. Would you say this game's setting is fantasy or otherworldly?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, things that come to mind. There's Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor that year. That's Tolkien, obviously. Oh, Tolkien. That's a franchise tie-in. So that's a strong contender. I was thinking Dragon Age Inquisition was that year. That's fantasy, but that is not a licensed tie-in. Okay. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor is a promising lead. Does this game have just one a named protagonist who is a dude?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like a create a character type of deal. And there's good old, what's his name? Talion or something in Middle-earth. All right, let's narrow it. Let's try to confirm Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor without asking something super duper niche. Does this game's combat primarily focus around hand-to-hand sword swinging?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that sounds pretty good. Is this game full of... How many questions am I up to? I just don't want to shoot myself in the foot here.
14.
Okay. I have got enough safety to recover from this if it's wrong. Hey, does this game feature the Nemesis system?
Yeah.
All right. Is this Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor?
Yay!
Yay!
We're too good. We're too...
I used far more questions than you, however.
It's fine. We're at the 157 mark.
That's a good timestamp to enter closing statements, if you ask me.
All right.
Well, another successful episode, Heath.
Job well done.
Job very well done. What are your plans for the rest of the day?
I'm gonna fire up this Game Pass.
Right, gonna start the Deathloop download.
And then I got some VFX I have to do for work.
Gotcha.
And then Bailey wanted to reconvene, but I'm gonna wait until the weather is bad.
Oh.
Because if the weather's nice, she's gonna be like, "Oh, let's go for a walk." And I being outside, I take damage.
Damage. As much damage as she took watching Everything Everywhere All at Once with the dog violence. It went from dog violence and then the anal penetration and just those things, Bailey, do not mix. Fair enough. But yeah, taking a walk is nice. Get your steps in.
No need. Read this text aloud.
On sale from your wish list. Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh, darn it. Wait, that game came out?
Its specter continues to haunt you. I'll use this closing.
Spectre is no. I'm thinking of Spectrum.
I'll use this closing segment to shout out a competitor of ours, another video game podcast. It started up this year.
Is this our Gary Oak rival?
No, it's got a very specific premise. It's called My Perfect Console. It's basically an excuse to have industry people on and interview them about their life and stuff. But the conceit for why they're there,
and they just talk about video specs and PCIe slots.
No, they pick what 5 games would they put on their own custom Perfect Console.
Oh, okay.
And
Did
there
Blob
was
2.
And it's been some good interviews so far. They had the creator of Wordle on. They had one of the lead system designers.
Oh, these are good people. Yeah.
One of the lead system designers of Marvel's Midnight Suns, a guy from Firaxis. And my favorite interview so far was actually they had Phil Fish on. And the most interesting tidbit I learned from the podcast so far is that Phil Fish's real name is Phil Poisson, which is French for fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, it is funny. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the takeaway from that podcast.
Did Phil add any Japanese games
for his console? Oh, because he has that infamous line. Let me think. There was a pop. He put Fez on the list.
Well, he made it.
No, he didn't. Oh, no, sorry. You're right. He did make Fez. He did not put Fez on the list.
Oh,
he put.
He's self-loathing.
What's the Dreamcast era game?
Sonic.
It's all musical.
Oh, Rez.
I didn't mean Fez. I meant Rez.
Yep.
He put Rez on the list. He put Dishonored on the list, which I appreciated. I don't know if he put. Wait, is Rez No, Rez is not Japanese. I don't.
No.
I cannot confirm or deny how Japanese Phil Fish's list was. Sega might have just been the publisher. Was it made by Harmonix?
United Game Artists, headquartered in Shibuya.
Oh, that sounds pretty Japanese to me.
Okay.
Remember, there was an era of our podcast where we would say Phil Fish accidentally was like an executive at Sony.
So yeah, because Phil Spencer. No, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was complimenting Phil Spencer.
I see.
But no, Phil Fish liking a Japanese game is much like how Kanye tweeting about how he watched 21 Jump Street and says he's no longer anti-Semitic because of how much he laughed at Jonah Hill's performance.
Yikes. Yeah. Just like that.
They're one and the same.
Very good. I think that's a good note to end this show on.
All right.
What's our email address if you catch this?
Our email is mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com, and you're probably watching this on our TikTok, mobiustubes.games/podcast. What's our TikTok?
Yeah, we record the show now. We have a YouTube channel where you can see our faces. And
that one that'll just show up if you type the name. Do you know what my cat's favorite toy is?
No.
It's twist ties. It's like cable ties.
Oh.
He loves them.
They're fun.
Because they behave
erratically.
So weird, yeah.
Hard to predict the physics. My mom had some search engine optimization advice for us.
Yeah?
She suggested, now that we're getting all these...
it's just Mobius Tubes.
Now that we're getting all these TikTok or YouTube views, we should throw our email address early in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Should we splice that in? Should we say it?
Yeah. Well, why, though?
Just to increase the chances of someone writing in.
Okay.
If they don't stick around until the end.
But they're not watching the full video.
Oh, okay.
They're watching like the shorts.
Probably.
The snippets.
I wouldn't know. This is your domain.
If they liked a clip of ours to come see the full thing, they probably are like it enough to also listen to the end for the email.
Or at least put the email address in the YouTube descriptions.
It's in there.
Oh, okay. Perfect. You're ahead of the game. Very good. Well, I think I'm going to go walk around the Home Depot.
You ever see that tweet of Ben Shapiro's where he comes out of Home Depot with like not a 2x4, but just like a plank of wood, and it's in a plastic bag back when they had plastic bags, and he's like holding it. I have to pull up the photo because it's the most staged thing ever. And if you're imagining Chris going to Home Depot, just picture, just type in Ben. Why am I doing it on Twitter? Ben Shapiro Home Depot, and we'll give you more credit than that, Chris, because it's so deliberate. Yeah, look at it. Just tap on any one of those.
Okay.
It's absolutely like baby's first visit to one of the big box stores. Doesn't it look like I'm a big boy? See,
I guess.
Wait, do you not find it funny?
No, he's holding it in the least natural way possible.
He's holding it like this is how a child would pretend to be a Bob the Builder type.
I like this one.
That too, yeah. The Ed and Eddie comparison, yeah.
Yeah, you may be grounded because Frontier Airlines left our city, but I am a frequent flyer at the Home Depot.
Then maybe our paths will cross. Okay, go.
All right, see ya.